experience. It's the teacher of all things. Its lessons propel you forward to overcome obstacles and learn how far you can go. It's what makes you, you. And it's at the heart of every Macquarie University degree. It means you can combine virtual and on-campus learning and personalise your degree. With courses co-created by industry leaders and degrees with inbuilt internships, you learn directly from those with experience. When you're powered by our collective, you get the experience you need to get ahead. You become more than just you. You become you to the power of us. Macquarie University.
Good afternoon. Normally at this time I'd be saying good morning, but we didn't have one this morning. So welcome to this special occasion, particularly for graduands on my right, but also for you, family and friends who've come to support them in this special occasion. A few things to go through first. I will ask that all mobile phones please be turned to silent. We'd appreciate that. You're welcome to take photographs, but we ask that you don't stand and impede the view of people behind. We ask that you don't stand in the centre aisle, and we ask that you don't approach the stage at any time. I think that's all the don'ts. Now it's for the do's. If you've left items in the cloakroom, please collect those as soon as possible after the ceremony. And today's ceremony is being streamed live on Macquarie University's YouTube channel. Graduands, if you've ordered plaques or frames, please collect those from the relevant stands around the back. As you process out, you go around that way and they'll be there for you to collect and maybe order if you haven't already ordered. Also available behind the theatre is facilities for family and portrait photographs. So avail yourself of that possibility. And also available is a high definition copy of today's graduation ceremony. You need to go to the desk where the plaques are, pay your money, and they'll send it to you at the end of the day over the Ethernet, and it'll be landing in your computer when you get home. So don't forget that. Did I mention anything about having to evacuate if we need to? Right, if we need to evacuate for whatever reason, please follow the instructions of the security staff. I think I've got it all now. I know to talk to the graduands. Well, graduands, congratulations. You have made it. You've been looking forward to this day to be able to say, I've finally made it. Well done. So what's the process for today? Well, the reason you're here is you're graduating, okay? That's why you're here. But what's the process or the program for today? Official party will enter the graduation hall through the centre aisle. They'll take their positions on stage. The national anthem will be played, and we ask you to remove your bonnets or your trenchers. And at the end of that, when you sit down, place it back on, and this is on the left. Okay? If it happens to be somewhere else when you come around the back, don't worry, we'll find it and we'll put it in the right spot for you. So you come back and you sit down. There'll be a welcome to country from Uncle Chris Tobin, and then the acting registrar will ask the presiding officer, who'll be at this lectern, to address you. When that's concluded, there'll be an occasional address, like a guest speaker, and they will address you from this lectern. Then comes the important part. It's when you will have your degrees conferred upon you. Presiding officer will ask you to stand, seek assurance from the acting registrar that you've satisfied all the requirements for the award of your degree. You have, haven't you? Okay? So you wouldn't be here. So as I say, you'll be standing for that. The presiding officer will confer your degrees upon you. You're asked to sit. An usher will collect the back row. So we work from the back to the front. Go round down there, around the back. I'll be around there, and I'll give you one of these. Inside is your testamer and your academic transcripts. Now you have a mobile phone with you. You wouldn't have got through that door if you didn't, unless you had a paper QR code. Bring your phone with you. If you have a pocket, put it in your pocket. That's the best place for it. If you don't, as I say, bring it with you. We'll put it in your hand there like that. That's the phone. My hand is the phone. And we'll put that in front. And you can hold them like that. We ask you to hold it like this. And I'll explain why later. So you've got this. Your name's been checked. You walk up a ramp at that corner. And your name will be checked again. Then you'll be asked to walk across to the presenting officer at that lectern on your far right. There's a cross on the floor. Yeah, it's about here. Now the reason it's back a little bit, because that lectern is a little bit angled. So the presenting officer likes to look around and check, one, that you're there, and two, they sometimes like to read your name and make sure it corresponds to the name on their piece of paper. Okay, you go across there, presenter will read your name. Now, we have some Masters of Research. Hands up. Right, we have some Masters of Research and we have our doctorates. Presenting officer, after reading your name, will read the title of your thesis. Okay? Name, then the title of your thesis. Then they'll do that, and we ask you to reciprocate and do that as well. So don't leave that spot until he or she has finished reading the title of your thesis. Okay? For everyone else, presenting officer will read your name and then you process across the stage. Now you'll walk across from there to here. This is where the official photograph will be taken. If you get halfway across and you realise that you haven't done this, don't worry, you don't have to go back and have another go. Just keep coming across here for your official photograph. There's a cross on the floor. There's a cross there for presenting officer. Hold your testamers like that. Okay, and it's part of your photograph. Now, one important thing about this photograph, it's the official photograph of your graduation. Official photograph. And I emphasise that, because when you go around the back at the end of the ceremony, all the photographs are on the wall. If you look at your photograph and say, I don't like that, you can't come back and have another go. Okay? So it's one-off only. So make sure you're smiling at least. Okay? So photograph is taken through that opening where those young women have come through, down the ramp, not down the centre aisle, we ask please, and not jumping over the ropes to get down there either. It has happened. It's happened a few times. Go down that opening there, down the ramp, back to the row, your row. You won't be in the same seat, except you folk. They're your seats now, they'll be your seats after you graduate. If you come back, take those seats up, okay? No one else sit in them. They get very cross, they do, if you do sit in their seats. So they're yours, you just sit down wherever there's a vacant seat. So you go back to your row, an usher will put you into that row and ask you to walk along until you come to the next available seat. Okay, so fill up all vacant seats in that row. Obviously, first out, first back. So we don't want you jumping over other people's legs to try and get to your current seat. So you'll come back, you're sitting down. One of you fine folk will come up and give the graduate speaker's address. I know I saw someone up here getting the lowdown on it this morning. So we have someone, thank you, to give the graduate speaker's address from here. Okay? And then the presiding officer will close the ceremony. Oh, sorry, no, I missed one important part. Everything's important, but this is also important. There'll be a musical interlude. Okay? And it's fantastic, it really is. Anyway, And then the presiding officer will close the ceremony. They'll leave the stage down the centre aisle. Graduates, as you will be then, down the centre aisle, 2 rows at a time, out through the centre door, around the outside, and you can meet your family and friends and have some light refreshments. Okay? Now, just one other thing, your mobile phone, I told you about putting it here and there. Please, when you're on stage, no selfies. Okay? We appreciate that. Okay, look, congratulations again. Enjoy the day. It's a very important day in your life and one that you should never miss. I know a lot of people can't be here for various reasons, but I know someone who didn't bother about going to his graduation ceremonies. And I think the poorer for it if you don't go. Anyway, have a good time. Bye.
When you graduate from Macquarie University, you become part of our alumni community. A vast connected network that spans the globe, with thought leadership and networking events locally and around the world, where you can connect with other alumni, find a future employer or employee. Also, as part of the alumni community, you have access to a wide range of benefits, including special discounts, free access to the library for life, an alumni e-magazine, special events, networks, and career and professional development opportunities. We celebrate and champion our graduate stories and achievements, so stay connected and stay informed. That's you to the power of us. Stay connected by letting us know where your journey takes you. Simply update your details at mq.edu.au/alumni.
Shortly, the official party will enter the graduation hall, and they've taken their positions on stage. Advance Australia Fair will be played, and we invite you to join in the singing of the national anthem. Could you please stand for the academic procession?
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are one and free, with golden soil and a wealth foretold. Our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains, then let us sing, advance Australia fair. Please be seated. Distinguished guests and graduates, I would like to invite Uncle Chris Tobin, representative of the Darug people, to offer the traditional acknowledgement of country.
Thank you. Warami Miriga. Hello, friends, and Naloa. I belong to one of the local Aboriginal families of the Darug people, the traditional custodians over this part of the country. I wish to firstly pay my respects to the country and its people by acknowledging that we do indeed meet at Wallamata, the ancestral home of the Wallamedigal clan and home of the snapperfish. I'd like to thank the University for the invitation to join you for the acknowledgement of country. These protocols that we do in Australia are one of the things that give me great hope and encouragement for the future of this country. It's a beautiful way, a gentle, beautiful way of standing with Aboriginal people while at the same time confirming ourselves as a nation or a people that care about the pursuit of justice and respectfulness. My family, in fact, descend from Yarramundi, a respected elder and cleverman of the neighbouring Burruburungal clan during the early years of colonisation. He saw that our survival in this new world could best be secured if we could learn more about it, so he enrolled his daughter, Burrungai, or Maria, into the Native Institute, a school set up in 1815 by Governor Macquarie, offering formal education to Aboriginal children. Maria studied there for several years and used her newly acquired skills to lobby and eventually secure some land for herself and her family out along the Richmond Road. Other Aboriginal families soon joined them, seeking refuge there during the brutal displacement of Aboriginal people throughout the 1800s. And the place became known as the Blackstown, where the present-day city of Blacktown gets its name. We are very proud of her, as I'm sure your families are of you here today. And with good reason. Your success is our success. Your advancement, our advancement. Now, that was probably better understood in more traditional times when camp groups were smaller and clans abided by strict sharing laws, which meant the food that you caught and brought back was distributed throughout the rest of the camp. Your skills and good fortune were thus enjoyed by all. Your efforts literally nourished the rest of the community, and you in turn were looked after by them. Yes, we can live quite beautifully when we work together. Our Aboriginal ancestors certainly lived well in many respects, and I use occasions like this to offer them to yourselves as a model or a benchmark on how good to expect our lives today. You see, when Captain Cook arrived here a little over 250 years ago, he described the people he encountered as one of the happiest people he'd ever met. They owned nothing, he wrote, but the tools they carried. They made their shelters from the bark of trees without cutting them down, and fed their families from the earth without excessive tilling or clearing. There was no slavery, no rich and poor, and no homelessness. Armies were unheard of, as were forts, jails, or even fences. Back then, each clan had their own country. People cooperated then to collect the resources that were needed, which were then shared out according to strict Aboriginal law. Our lands were maintained in their natural state through fire and responsible harvesting. Our rivers and waterways kept clean and unpolluted, with people drinking out of them as they have done here at Wallamata for the past 30,000 years. So please consider this is not a dream or an ideal yet to be achieved. This is normal life for people, and for the longest time, and not that long ago either. So there's no good reason why we should expect less for ourselves and our children than what our ancestors enjoyed. Admittedly, there's a lot more of us. However, we are a clever people, and there is still much magic and beauty in the world, I believe. So graduates, I would say expect great and wonderful things from your life. Life is good, we are naturally happy, and normally very good at looking after each other and the planet. I would just ask that you share your skills with the rest of us where you can, and keep following that beautiful spirit within you that got you this far. Do this and I'm confident we can put together a world we can be proud of and a future that is worthy of our children. We can all do our bit. I'll do mine now by winding up and letting you graduate. Just want to say congratulations to you, to all of you, and have a wonderful day and all the best in our collective futures. Thank you. Yana.
Distinguished guests, I am pleased to introduce Pro-Chancellor of Macquarie University, Distinguished Professor Leslie Hughes.
You don't have to clap. Not yet. Firstly, thank you so much, Chris, for your acknowledgement of country. Your presence here today adds great significance to this event. Thank you very much for coming along. Colleagues, guests, families and friends of our graduands, and most importantly, our graduands. It's my honour and a pleasure to welcome you here today to this graduation ceremony. I bring our graduands and guests a special greeting from members of our University Council, one of whom is with us today, the governing body of the university. It's our hope that today is a very happy and memorable occasion for all of you. Firstly, I see that we do have a number of young children and babies with us today. They are most welcome. We don't expect them to stay quiet or unfidgeting throughout the ceremony. Please don't feel you need to rush them outside if they do. They are as welcome as everybody else. Today is a milestone day. Today we celebrate the wonderful achievements of those of you about to graduate. Completing a degree is never easy. It requires an intelligent and inquiring mind, determination and perseverance, and you have made many sacrifices along the way in pursuit of your goals. You've worked very hard to get to this point, and you should feel proud of what you have accomplished. We as a university are just as proud of you and your achievements, and I'm pleased to be able to congratulate each and every one of you. I also want to especially welcome the families, supporters and friends of the graduates here with us as invited guests. The fact that you have been invited here by one of the graduates is proof positive of the support that they believe they have received from you. So to our invited guests, congratulations and thank you for celebrating this great occasion with us today. Graduation ceremonies just like this have been going on for about 800 years in virtually every university in the world. It's remained a defining feature of life of staff and students in all universities. Of course, Macquarie is not one of the most ancient universities. In fact, we are just turning 60 this year. But nonetheless, we are very proud to take part in this time-honoured ceremony today. We also know that youth, or at least middle age, has its advantages. Macquarie is a modern and outward-looking university. We enjoy an enviable reputation for world-leading research excellence, research engagement and impact. We are continually progressing by extending our research, our partnerships, course offerings and facilities. We have a proud tradition of innovation and discovery, and our pioneering approach is built upon a collaborative and connected learning community. And of course, we are extremely proud of our beautiful campus. We now have over 234,000 graduates living in more than 150 countries. We're looking forward and we're on the move, and so are you. But the things we value so much about Macquarie, however, will not change. The friendliness, inclusiveness and approachability of our staff and students is often commented upon by visitors to the university, both from Australia and overseas. This is inherent to our culture, and we intend that it will always be so. Remember, you will always be welcome here. Macquarie University will also always be a leader in learning and teaching, and a leader in the accumulation of wisdom, knowledge and understanding. However, our collective journey is about building community, where we have shared values, where we share things in common, and where we care about each other, even when our points of view might differ. In other words, an ideal community of scholars. Distinguished guests, academic and professional colleagues, and most importantly, our graduates, I offer you the warmest of welcomes to Macquarie University on this grand and important occasion. In just a few minutes, it will be my very great honour to confer your degrees upon you, welcoming you as lifelong members of our community of scholars we proudly call Macquarie University. But now it is my very great pleasure to introduce our occasional speaker, Sophie Murray-Farrell. Sophie oversees the New South Wales Government's Countering Violent Extremism program from within the New South Wales Premier's Department. In addition to coordinating this program, Sophie leads whole of government coordination of social cohesion policy and programs, working closely with interjurisdictional and Commonwealth government counterparts to drive positive reform to strengthen social cohesion and overcome hate and extremism. Sophie has driven system reform in a range of complex social policy portfolios, including the prevention of domestic and family violence, access to justice, and homelessness prevention. Sophie holds a Master of Human Rights and undergraduate qualifications in social work and the arts. Prior to becoming a public sector executive, Sophie spent her early career working as a domestic violence social worker and as a housing and homelessness advocate in the community legal service and in anti-corruption policy and advocacy in the Pacific. I now invite Sophie to deliver the occasional address. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'd like to acknowledge that we're gathered here today on Darug country and to pay my respects to elders past and present, and to express my deep gratitude for the ongoing custodianship of these beautiful lands and waters that we enjoy here in New South Wales. I'd like to acknowledge the Pro-Chancellor of the University, members of the University, and most importantly, those of you who are graduating today and your friends and family who have come to cheer you on at this momentous achievement in your lives. I'm deeply honoured to have been asked to present this address. It is not something that I had envisaged for myself, but as the rest of my speech will explore, a career as long as all of ours will be is likely to be full of surprises. This is a speech about rolling dice and taking chances in our careers. From where you sit now, you have literally thousands of possibilities open to you in terms of your career and life direction. Most of them you may not have even heard of yet, and it will only be through the coming years of good and bad professional experiences that you will come to learn of the myriad of roles that may become available to you in your long careers. 14 years ago, I was sitting where you are, graduating from a Bachelor of Social Work. I had it very firmly in my mind that I was going to be a domestic violence social worker. And yet I graduated from uni with very little professional experience and badly needed to earn some cash, so I began rolling dice and applying for a very wide range of interesting jobs. I applied for a role as a union delegate. I applied to teach English in Japan for a year. I applied to be a volunteer in Dhaka in Bangladesh, working on a domestic violence program. And I applied to be a volunteer in Solomon Islands, working for an anti-corruption non-government organisation, Transparency International. The dice fell and I found myself living in a share house in Honiara, learning about anti-corruption advocacy and ghostwriting a weekly newspaper column on the illegal export of sea cucumbers from the Solomon Islands. Certainly not something I had dreamed I would be doing when I first enrolled in my social work degree 3 years earlier. You may think you are heading in one direction, but it may not work out that way, and another pathway may be open to you that you had never contemplated before. It is essential that we are brave enough to walk these pathways. With each new role or experience that you have, an even broader, bigger world of opportunities will become visible to you, and you may find yourself very far from your original plan, but deeply satisfied with your journey. Whilst living in Honiara in Solomon Islands, writing about sea cucumbers, I envisaged a lifelong career working in international development, but life had other plans for me. My father became unwell and I returned to Sydney to care for him. Again, I needed to recalibrate my plans and found myself working in communications for a community legal centre. Although I adored this role and made many lifelong friends and developed a deep respect for the importance of the community legal sector, I realised communications wasn't for me. I wanted to be making the policy that people wrote communications about, so I enrolled in a Master of Human Rights. At this point, the universe threw me a bone. Fortuitously, a job as a domestic violence social worker fell into my lap. I did this role for many years, and even though it was hard and heartbreaking, I loved it. However, even though this was my dream job when I first graduated, eventually I realised that what really motivated me was systems change, reforming the systems that create the conditions in which women and children find themselves experiencing violence. I wanted to not only just fix that one bad interaction with the service system or law enforcement, but to make sure women had a better experience seeking help every single time. So I found a job working in domestic violence policy and program design for the New South Wales government. This job was probably my second favourite job in my whole career so far. I loved the opportunity to take a bird's eye view of all the pieces of the service system to support women and children to have a better experience seeking assistance leaving domestic violence. But one day the dice rolled again and I received a phone call that was a job offer to work in counter-terrorism. I had applied for what's called a talent pool in the New South Wales government, where you can apply to be assessed at a particular level and then you receive offers right across the government when they become available. I had some strange offers during that period, an offer to work on Airbnb policy and legislation, working on policy and programs in funeral and cemetery regulation, and then I got a phone call about counter-terrorism, and I thought that sounded like an adventure and a new challenge, so I said yes, even though I was absolutely terrified. I remember at that time my stepfather continually asked me if I was going to be issued with a gun as part of my new role working for Premier and Cabinet. So it was an adventure, but it wasn't as much of an adventure as my stepfather visualised. And I wasn't wrong to be terrified. It turned out that designing legislation and policies that were tough on terror wasn't what really motivated me and wasn't what made my heart sing. Although I'm sure many people in this room would love and thrive in a role like that, it wasn't quite for me. What I discovered through doing that job was that I was more interested in working out how people end up walking down those pathways to begin with, and what are the systemic factors that make those pathways look attractive and appealing to people. And this is what really drives me. Luckily for me, a role opened up in Countering Violent Extremism, the sister team to the counter-terrorism policy team I was working in, which allowed me to look at complex issues like terrorism and violent extremism from a people-centred, community-centred perspective, where there is space for empathy, human understanding, analysis of systems, and how they create pathways. And this is the job I find myself in now. It is absolutely the best job I've ever had, and yet I found myself here through a bizarre series of life decisions and random opportunities. 14 years ago, sitting where you are now, I had never heard of Countering Violent Extremism, and now I am the director of the New South Wales Countering Violent Extremism program, standing in front of you giving this speech. Whether you aspire to be in law enforcement, in national security, or whether you are wanting to work for an NGO tackling climate change, the climate change advocate may one day find themselves working for ASIO, and the national security practitioner may one day find themselves ghostwriting a newspaper column about sea cucumbers. What matters most is that we are open to what life and our careers throw at us. And believe me, it will throw a lot of things at you. Many of them will be good and wonderful, but many of them will be very challenging. This room is full of a diversity of talents, interests, and lived experiences, and the choices that you make from here will only make that more so. To tackle the complexities of the modern world, what we need are more people like you, who are willing to take risks, people who can stand back and make connections between social systems, people who can connect the dots between existential threats like climate change and COVID and phenomenon like social polarisation, violent extremism and terrorism. Gone are the days where governments are looking for cookie-cutter public servants. We need systems thinkers, we need data nerds, we need evaluation experts, public orators, we need researchers, people with diverse lived experience of this complex world. We need our national security practitioners and public policy makers to understand what the real world is like so we can drive government in a direction that meets the needs of our communities. So I urge you, go out and take chances and learn things and do the wrong job for a while so you know what the right job is when you see it. Take the path less trodden, apply for that unusual role in a place you never thought you'd live, and see what happens when you get it. You have the rest of your career to make sensible and safe choices, but now is the time to roll the dice. And with that, I want to offer you my sincerest congratulations and wish you well on this next chapter of your professional journey. Thank you.
Sophie, thank you so much for sharing that exciting journey with us, about taking chances, about grabbing opportunities. I think many graduates sitting here today listening to you will be very envious of your career that you've described thus far, with the possible exception of the sea cucumber bit, I would suggest. But I think your words should have really inspired everybody in this audience about what can be done if you just give it a go. Please join with me in thanking Sophie again for her wonderful words. As Pro-Chancellor of Macquarie University, I especially look forward to presiding at ceremonies such as today's and conferring degrees on those who have complied with the university's requirements for such awards. I now call on our Acting Registrar, Dr. Belinda Tiffin, to formally certify the eligibility of those who have met the requirements of these awards.
Pro-Chancellor, I certify that all of the candidates being presented here today and those who are absent have satisfied the requirements of the Academic Senate for the degrees they are to be awarded. Would all candidates for admission to degrees please stand?
In the name of the Macquarie University Council and by my authority as Pro-Chancellor, I admit each of you present and those who are absent to the degrees for which you have qualified. Congratulations.
Graduates, please be seated. Pro-Chancellor, the graduates at this ceremony are from the Faculty of Arts. I now call on Professor Chris Dixon, Executive Dean of the Faculty of Arts, to present the graduates. Professor Dixon.
Pro-Chancellor, the graduates of this ceremony are from the Faculty of Arts. Staff and students from the Faculty of Arts develop critical, inquiring and curious minds. They work together within and across disciplinary boundaries to ask questions about socially complex problems. They identify paths of research, analyse and communicate ideas in creative formats, and reflect on the skills and knowledge they need in order to understand the world, past, present and future. Students are encouraged to use their skills and talents to connect with local and global communities. This faculty includes research and study areas in ancient history, anthropology, education, English, geography and planning, Indigenous studies, international studies, law, media, music, communication and cultural studies, modern history, politics and international relations, philosophy, sociology and security studies and criminology. Through transformative education, Faculty of Arts graduates are equipped to face social challenges with a deep evaluative mind, strong reasoning and a well-established ethical compass. They explore their creativity and passions while developing transferable skills like communication, critical thinking and digital literacy. These skills are extremely sought after by employers. To our graduates, as you reflect on these last few years, I'm sure you'll agree that Macquarie University is home to a wonderful community of people. The relationships and networks you have formed will continue to serve you well into your future as professional contacts, as academic mentors and as lifelong friendships. Pro-Chancellor, I present to you the graduates from the Faculty of Arts whom you have admitted to degrees or awarded diplomas. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Commerce. Jasmine Hawkins. Michelle Komalafe. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of International Studies, Damien Shafazli. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Commerce and Bachelor of Security Studies, Crystal Maroon. Harrison Starrock. Jack Wrightson. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Afia Abraham. Jaden Octoloni. Hannah Baldry. Emily Blackburn. Mia Brown. Aurora Carter. Jessica Chu. Connor Douglas. Elizabeth Duncan. Aidan Dunphy-Smith. Magdalene Ellis. Flynn Franklin Baker. Art Gracie. Daniel Grubber. Dong Hyun Ham. Sophia Hev Ostberg. Byron Hoy. Sarah Karp. Annabelle Comdina. Soon Song Kwon. Wei Liang. Katie Miller. We have a recipient of the Macquarie University Award for Academic Excellence, Claudia Minter. Hong Mai Trin Pham. Kritika Radha Krishnan. Albert Scalise. Maria Gabriela Suzy Del Canto. Michael Vatuli. Zachary Walton. I present graduates admitted to degree of Bachelor of International Studies. Yoko Kaletti. Annabelle Johnson. Dayon O. Nicole Ramanini. Gina Sambuca. Kenzo Oiada. Finlay Wardman. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Linguistics and Language Sciences, Laura Leighton-Jones. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Planning, Marcus Butler. Zoe Gleason. Edward Halmarick. Thoung Lee. Lachlan Mars. Brendan Martin. Joel Pearsall. Julian Enrique Portilla Contreras. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Security Studies, Malwa Bajwa. Andrea Bennett. Gerard Bernard. Marie Borg. Jonathan Bustamante. Samuel Callow. Matthew Cooper. Mia Darby. Neha Dutt. Bella Hartis. Tai Hiroe. Julian Hyde. Lachlan Ings. Joshua John. Hamish Kohler. Caitlin Mackenzie. Thomas McNeely. Rhiannon Partridge. Maximilian Petschel. Shivani Prabhakar. Nicholas Prapas. Dominic Reed. Alexi Reeves. Benjamin Sweetlove. Reese Taylor. Thomas Tracy. Sinan Turunç. Karina Vanderheide. Cameron Vella. Katie Walsh. Mitchell Wilson. Harrison Wood. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Social Science. Fatima Awad Ali Silim. Huma Babayi. Jacqueline Berthold. Alifa Nadila Budiman. Tuk Ling Kao. Phoebe Coram. Kurt Edwards. Thomas Jean. James MacDonald. Daniela Manning. Finola Murphy. Dania Saboon. Grace Simeon. Stephanie Smith. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Graduate Diploma of Policing, Intelligence and Counter-Terrorism, Francesca Paletua. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Security Studies and Master of Cyber Security Analysis, Samuel Nicolau. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Master of Counter-Terrorism and Master of Public and Social Policy, Rita Markar. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Master of Counter-Terrorism and Master of Security and Strategic Studies, Daniel Salazar. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Criminology and Master of Cyber Security Analysis, Ellen Linnea Marie Laurin. Kanwal Malik. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Criminology and Master of Intelligence, Samantha Phillips. Pratyaksh Sharma. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Master of Criminology and Master of Public and Social Policy, Nancy Carr. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Master of Cyber Security Analysis and Master of International Relations, Adebayo Aliamai Odomari. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Master of Intelligence and Master of International Relations, Georgia Stock. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Master of Intelligence and Master of Security and Strategic Studies, Elio Alexander Liu. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of International Relations and Master of Public and Social Policy, Gianfranco Banyaga. Rochelle Ann Pigson. Viola Tasiksai. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Master of International Relations and Master of Security and Strategic Studies, Vigneswaran. Martin Barameda. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Counter-Terrorism, Angus Bogon. Jared Dawson. Kay Karnavantham. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Criminology, Claudia Noon. Georgia Wilkie. Lilia Yunan. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Cybersecurity Analysis, Thomas Gilbert. Simone Snedden. Corin Wilmot. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Intelligence, Anna Jones. Jacob Smith. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Master of International Public Diplomacy, Renda Darwich. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of International Relations, Erica Fisher. David Avani. Yu Keong Kim. Sinead McNicholas. Sumida Pal. Anya Peleke. Wafi Suta. Salisa Tongyam. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Planning, Vaishnavi Praram Kusham. Samantha Towers. Zoe van Druten. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Public and Social Policy, Jacqueline Kimura. Jayoshi Kangara Roti. Luke Sikora. Jasbinder Kaur Singh. Sakara Sroon. Alicia Walkerden. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Security and Strategic Studies, Jaden Morrison. Muhammad Umar bin Mohammed Asfia. Emma Christine Nicholson. Pro-Chancellor. A higher degree by research is awarded to a graduate who has successfully completed a program of study in which the defining characteristic is research. Our Master of Research is a 2-year full-time equivalent research training degree consisting of research-based coursework, postgraduate research training, and a major research project. Graduates have focused on a specific research topic to produce a thesis of up to 20,000 words in preparation for a doctoral degree. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Research. Alana Blakers, for a thesis entitled Karl May Museum and Romanticising of First Nations Peoples, Cultures and Knowledges of Turtle Island. Jack Gray, for a thesis entitled The Pervasive and Damaging Guiding Principle of Shareholder Value, Insights through the Australian Banking Royal Commission. Ben Hussell, for a thesis entitled Manoeuvre and Force Ratio in Urban Warfare. Taylor Cooper, for a thesis entitled The Gap, Mental Illness, Suicide and Affluence in a Sydney Suburb. Jamshed Murustaza, for a thesis entitled IR Theory, Structuralism, Realism and Chinese Nationalism, Understanding the 2022 Taiwan Strait Crisis. Mahtab Saeedi Manesh, for a thesis entitled An Analysis of the Process of Rural Change in Response to Economic, Environmental and Social Aspects, a case study of Moree, New South Wales. Well done. The Doctor of Philosophy is awarded to graduates who have demonstrated the capacity to conduct research independently by forming a distinct contribution to the knowledge of the subject and to afford evidence of coherence and originality shown either by the discovery of new facts or by the exercise of independent critical power. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Dr. Irene Grace Arndal, for a thesis entitled Social Spaces of Child Play, Discourses, Identities, Practices and Imaginaries among Slum-Dwelling Children in the Philippines. This degree was jointly supervised with Ural Federal University, Russia, under a co-tutel PhD agreement. Dr. Penelope Byrne for a thesis entitled The Promise of Polyamory and Its Limits, Exploring the Challenges of Ethical Non-Monogamy. Dr. Lucinda Casbolt for a thesis entitled Bike Mobilisations, Experiences of Bicycling and Its Advocacy in Copenhagen and San Francisco. Dr. Marlon Arthur Huey, awarded the Vice-Chancellor's Commendation for a thesis entitled Chameleon Politics, the Dynamics of Fluctuating Papuan Positioning in Indonesia. Well done. Dr. Adam Raichan for a thesis entitled Is it just a PhD or a PhD in refereed outputs? A case study of Australian and New Zealand sociology PhDs. Dr. Stephanie Scott-Smith for a thesis entitled Salafi Jihadist Mobilisation, a thematic analysis of narratives of citizenship revocation and statelessness. Dr. Lillian Tate, awarded the Vice-Chancellor's Commendation for a thesis entitled Ola Gija Research, a collaborative journey in relational truth-telling. Dr. Faiz Ullah for a thesis entitled Surviving Precarity and Crisis, Temporary Migrant Workers, Social Welfare and Networks During the COVID-19 Pandemic. Well done. Pro-Chancellor, that completes this afternoon's presentation of the graduates from the Faculty of Arts.
Pro-Chancellor, I call on Dr. Stephanie Scott-Smith, who graduated with a Doctor of Philosophy, to speak on behalf of the graduating group. Dr. Scott-Smith.
Pro-Chancellor, members of the university, fellow graduates and guests, I'm so grateful for the opportunity to speak to you all on this very special day. 60 years ago, Macquarie University was founded with a mission to do things differently. By harnessing an all-of-society approach, Macquarie believed in fostering collaboration between students, academics, industry, government and society to create positive change. These founding beliefs that we, the graduates, are the change makers still holds true today. In many ways, my journey at Macquarie is a great example of what the university's mission is. For years, I worked in the prisons of New South Wales as a forensic psychologist, where I was faced with complex real-world questions about preventing and countering violent extremism. I was eager to understand how theory could better inform my practice. So like all of the graduates in this room, I came to Macquarie on a quest for knowledge that had real-world applicability. Here, I was lucky enough to study under the supervision of Associate Professor Julian Drugan and Dr. Mariam Farida, leaders in their field. My time at Macquarie has reinforced my understanding that it is by fostering these avenues of collaboration between industry and academia that real-world progress can be achieved. Macquarie University has stayed true to its founding mission. Now it's our turn. Here at our graduation, let's take a moment to reflect on the values that will anchor us in the next chapter of our lives and guide the choices we will need to make as we continue on our academic or professional careers. As we celebrate today, we are reminded that many people around the world are unable to access education and face struggles, challenges, and uncertainties much greater than we can imagine. This is a time to reflect on our responsibility as graduates of 2024. In a world facing so much division, remember that we are united in our shared humanity and have a responsibility to engage with the world thoughtfully, to use our voices, to speak up, and to foster compassion and understanding in everything we do. Our time at Macquarie has given us the skills to think critically about the world, has positioned us to be brave, to act with integrity, to have difficult conversations with grace, to look for opportunities to learn from one another, and to make time to celebrate the small victories. Sometimes these are even more important than the big wins. In the words of physicist Professor Brian Cox, for me, the most astonishing wonder of the universe isn't a star or a planet or a galaxy. It isn't a thing at all. It's an instant in time, and that time is now. Graduates of 2024, let us celebrate our hard work, our commitment, and our success. Our time is now. Thank you.
Stephanie, thank you for those beautiful words. It was a beautiful articulation of what a degree should all be about. Thank you for also reminding us that here today we have the privilege of peace in this room, and not everybody in the world has that right now. Please join with me in thanking Stephanie for her beautiful words. We will now be privileged by listening to Angela Brewer.
Orizzonte, manca le parole. Sì, lo so che non c'è luce in una stanza quando manca il sole. Se non ci sei, tu con me, su le finestre. Mostra a tutti il mio cuore che hai acceso. Chiudi dentro me la luce che hai incontrato per strada. Time to say goodbye. Ah, sì, che io l'amai non esisterò più. Adesso sì vivrò con te, partirò su navi per mari che io lo so non esistono più. Quando sei lontana sull'orizzonte manca le parole. Io sono, tu sei qui con me, con me. Tu mia luna, tu sei qui con me. Io sono, tu sei qui con me, con me, con me, con me. Time to say goodbye. Ah, sì, che io l'amai.
And distinguished guest, that was the superb voice of the very, very sparkly Angela Brewer. She was performing Conte Partiro, or Time to Say Goodbye, by Sartori and Quarantaro. Angela is also the founder and artistic director of Coast Opera Australia. Please let us thank her again. We have some other people to thank. Our musicians. On the organ, Heather Mohan-Boyd. And on the trumpet, Mr. Colin Grisdale. I'd also like to take this opportunity to acknowledge and thank the representatives from our alumni community who have come today to help celebrate this occasion. If they're in the audience, can they stand up? Thank you. Thank you so much for your volunteering. And finally, please join me in thanking our technical staff, who you can't see, but who ensure that proceedings here today can be both seen and heard, not just by all of you, but all of those watching this event on live stream. Thank you. Graduates, because that is what you are now, having walked across this stage. This ceremony marks a change in your relationship with Macquarie University, but it is certainly, hopefully, not the end of your association with us. From today onwards, you are now part of the bigger Macquarie University community. Our alumni network, which, as I mentioned before, now has over 234,000 graduates in 150 countries around the globe, welcomes you as well. We look forward to seeing you back on campus to attend alumni events, to undertake further study, or simply to visit our beautiful campus and reminisce about the good times you had here as a Macquarie University student. Graduates, the award of a university degree carries many opportunities and privileges. But like all privileges, it also carries responsibilities. We urge you to commit to lifelong learning and inquiry. We urge you to set and seek ambitious goals for yourself. We urge you to continue the hard work that has already brought you so far. And remember, the world is not only changed by an Einstein or a Marie Curie, but by the many contributions, large and small, that are made by people just like you. At Macquarie, we pride ourselves on developing each and every one of our students into the engaged community, citizens and leadership. So we urge you to always give thought to what you can do for others along the way. You don't have to do something very big sometimes to make a real difference to somebody's life. Sometimes simply a kind gesture or a kind word can mean an enormous amount. We challenge you to continue to exercise sound judgment and initiative, and to always be generous in offering practical advice and wisdom to those who you meet on your life's journey. Our hope is that as graduates of Macquarie University, you will use what you have learned here, not only for your own benefit, but for the betterment of our whole community. And in all you do, we charge you to uphold the good name of this university. It's also our hope that you remember the people who have helped you along the way, many of whom are here with you today. So to acknowledge their contribution and thank them for it, I'm going to ask you to do a few things. First, I'd like all our new graduates to stand. I want you to place your testamas on your seats and turn around to face your family and friends, and I invite you to give them a mighty round of applause. You can turn around again, but don't sit down yet. There's one more thing. Here on the dais with me are representatives of our academic staff who have supported you throughout your journey. Please thank them also. Graduates, please remain standing, but you can pick up your testamas now. We don't want you to leave them behind because we're only giving you one of them today. Soon the official party will leave the graduation hall, followed by the graduates. As we do, our organist will play the traditional recessional music of graduation, which has been played at ceremonies like this for many centuries. There is an age-old set of Latin lyrics which begins Gaudeamus igitur dum sum juvenis. In translation, it means, therefore, let us rejoice, we will always be young. This song speaks in a whimsical way of youth and old age at the same time, of the brevity of life and the inevitability of death, of state and city and of happiness. Again, to our newest graduates of Macquarie University, my warmest congratulations and every best wish for futures filled with success, satisfaction and happiness. Now might I ask everybody in the hall to stand. Shortly, I will lead the official party out of the hall. I will then invite the graduates to follow and to meet all of us outside to participate in some light refreshments. In closing today's wonderful celebration of your achievements, again I say, Gaudeamus igitur. Therefore, let us rejoice.